Hi, everyone. Welcome to Multiple Sclerosis Live. I'm your host, Dulcie Hill, and today we're going to be talking about all sorts of symptoms, or I'm going to be doing that. And then to the right, you see this here is where you're going to support each other. You're going to chat and everything. It's a live chat is over here. So it's more important you know that I am just hosting this. I am, in fact, I'm a little embarrassed. It said Dulcie Hill's live chat, and it shouldn't. It should say Multiple Sclerosis live chat. This is no more than a forum for you with a multiple sclerosis so that we can have a live stream and answer each other's questions. Again, based on our experiences. So much of us, so much we hear right here, over here in the chat, is meant to take right down and call your doctor, call your neurologist. So we're not taking anything that is said here as gospel. So that's a disclaimer. We are not doctors or medical. In fact, I've just discovered that the lighting is bad. Let me change over to my walker. Okay. And then I think the lighting will be better here. Again, it doesn't matter. I shouldn't be focused on me, but hi Dee. Yeah, it's so good to see you here today. Again, I want to talk about some symptoms. It rained on Saturday here in Maryland, and I put a couple questions in different forms. One of the questions was how many people feel awful in the rain? You know, it was terrible. I felt terrible. I didn't feel like doing anything. Please forgive me. There, I should. While everybody gets here, there. How are you feeling, Dee? Let's see. It's slowly building up. I did my due diligence. I advertised this, so I did my job. There, that's better. There, I did my job. So I let everybody know. So we should be getting more people to support. Every once when I do this, we end up getting a ton of people here, and your conversations are they help me. I'm just the host. Again, we feed each other. I've had MS, but I want to know. I want to know. You didn't. First of all, I want to know how many other people feel awful when it rains, when it is cloudy. You feel worse, MS wise. Now, my disclaimer is that I've had MS for 34 years. I don't know. I'm not a detailed person, but they trace it back to when I was 16 years old. D, you're in. All right. Anyway, I want to talk about this morning. I was laying in bed and I had to get up to go to the bathroom, and I got back in bed and getting set up. I have to, you have to wait until you get defrosted, and it's a spasticity. I took a baclofen. I had to just get motivated to be able to move, because and by then it's like a workout. How many? What about you, Dee? Do you have any problems with spasticity? All right. You have to excuse me because I'm out front today, and there's a lot more happening. Normally I'm on the screen room and it's more private, but the internet connection is not as great. So we discovered that Yeah. So spasticity is your normal pain in the butt. That is. Now, the medications used to treat spasticity are baclofen, tizidine, Valium, uh, uh, different. Xanax, different relaxers there, and I take baclofen as well. Now, how much baclofen? Because the doctors, our neurologists, tells us, and also pharmaceuticals tell us that you can't take more than 80 milligrams in one day without going on the baclofen pump there, and I had ended up taking just boatloads of baclofen there. It was 160, 1,600 milligrams there. Uh, Neurologists were very upset. I've done more wrong with MS than I've done right there. You only take 10 milligrams. See, I take 20 milligrams now 3 to 4 times a day. Try to get it 4 times a day there. In the middle of the night, I'll wake up and I'll take one there because it just doesn't stay. Now, CBD oil is it's wonderful. That is can be really expensive though. So much, and I think of that Walls protocol, and so many people touting these fantastic organic grass-fed meat, these wonderful diets, but you got to have lots and lots of money for that. Rich people can afford MS. By the way, MS is the second most expensive disease to treat. First one. Now I might be dating myself because this data is 4 years old there, and the first was arthritis, various forms, osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. There's different types of arthritis, and it can be very expensive to treat. But MS now is so expensive to treat. In fact, they discovered the most. I think it was Baggio. I just read a report that said the most expensive medication to take. I think it's a Baggio. Um, I again, I think it was Obaggio there. Uh, Saw something called Toapage. What is Toapage? D. What is Toapage? By the way, I need to tell you this COVID stuff. Um, and I'm isolating myself from other people because for the past 6 days I've had a mild headache, no fever, and a sore throat. And I've been extreme. I'm much more tired than I normally am tired. I can't just exercise, and you know how it's promoting exercise. I just don't have it in me to exercise. So I thought about going to patient first and being tested for this, but I have heard nothing more than people with MS and rituximab. If you're on interferons, there's various medications that you take for MS that's supposed to that studies show helps you have a um, less risk involved when you get this. Uh, Again, you know what? Dee, I use the turmeric with black pepper and co-curum, and I don't use ginger, but I eat copious amounts of garlic and onions there. Uh, I'm surprised that, Dee, I love that you're here. Thank you. But I'm surprised the list of people who normally here aren't really here. Um, let's see. Oh, you know what? This maybe it didn't go out on email. Um, I don't I don't know. Tell me something, Dee. I have been craving fresh fruit. So I went down to the grocery store a couple days ago I was going to get a little tray of cut up pineapple there, but it was $7. I said, "Yeah, I'm not doing that. When the pineapple was only $3 there. So I got a pineapple and discipline. I sliced it up, and I've been eating pineapple, an apple, an orange. I picked up some grapes. I'm doing so much fresh fruit, and I'm a banana addict, so I have banana and peanut butter. Um, in the afternoon, or yeah, that's my lunch there. Um, my eggs in the morning there. I got to have that there. Uh, so yeah, the fresh, yeah. Forget the. Do you know, D, in California we had. I was spoiled because I had tangelo tree. I had a lemon tree. I had two pomegranate. No, I had one pomegranate tree, two plum trees, a nectarine tree, sugar cane. I had so many, and a fig tree. I mean, I had a massive fig tree, and I think that was my favorite. I love figs there, but here I got to go to the grocery store and buy. And fruit is expensive, but the fresh fruit, when you have all these fruit trees growing there, um, it's just wonderful. It's wonderful. Problem is, I'll let you know, I'm an East Coaster by nature. I was raised as an East Coaster there, and I thought fruit was going to be incredible. Having an orchard was going to be incredible, but then came the fruit flies. I just didn't realize how many fruit flies I had, and that's not really true well, I don't know. Anybody with experience with fruit flies knows that if you've got fruit that's turning in your kitchen, yeah, you can get fruit flies, tons of fruit flies. Well, we had them all over the place in our backyard in California there, and the only way you can sit out back is if you had a fan on you, or you go around and pick up all the fruit that fell on the ground, and each tree produces a lot of fruit. That's a good idea. You can freeze fresh fruit. I should do that. You know what? Again, the suggestions over there are huge. Are huge. Anyway, uh, let's see. There's a lot more people here. Uh, that are just watching this but aren't participating there. Let's see, banana, strawberry, blueberries. Do you make smoothies, D? I know we're supposed to make smoothies there, and I love mangoes. Papayas and mangoes, but the problem is that papayas and mangoes are very, very high in sugar. So you can eat like three apples to equal the calories in one mango or papaya. The amount of sugar is just off the charts, and all sugar studies have shown causes inflammation. So we're supposed to limit our sugar up intake there. Uh, that is great. What do you put in your smoothies, D? What do you put in your smoothies? Uh, how does how do you treat your MS symptoms? What is your worst symptom right now, and how do you manage it there? Yeah, I need to do that. Problem is that making a smoothie is effort intensive, and I think about cleaning the kitchen. Oh my gosh, this morning I did ground flaxseed is great because it also has been shown to reduce your cholesterol levels, your lousy cholesterol. Greek yogurt, do you use a kind of Greek yogurt? Uh, and also chia pet. I've been, or not chia pet. How about chia? Gina, you're here. Yay. Yay, Gina. We missed you. Dee and I missed you. The super green powder. Uh, I like that because it has kelp in it. It's got oh, what is it? Begins with CH. It's something that's supposed to be very good antioxidant. Problem is, it makes you gassy. I like chia seeds. I like to put that in some. I'm supposed to be eating. I can't. I have to have old oatmeal, old sliced oatmeal. What do you? Old fashioned oats there, but I have a friend who does the steel cut oats there. It takes forever to cook, but fresh fruit. You know what? I know. If everything is frozen, it is easy. But the problem is you still got to clean out your smoothie maker. Um, yeah, it's true. I I like almond milk. I like to use a little bit of almond milk or coconut milk. I found a whipped cream made out of coconut whipped cream at the natural store, and I sliced up my pineapple. And last night for dessert, I had just a bunch of pineapple with a couple dollops of that coconut whipped cream on it. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. Flax milk. How does that taste? You know what they can do? Chia seeds and oatmeal is great. That chia seeds and oatmeal is what I put, and I tend to have that in for sometimes for supper. That's my breakfast or supper. What's so good about that is that I eat that and it stays with you. It just Diana. Hi, Diana. Welcome. Welcome. I love how, everybody, you just keep posting there. You use frozen berries. So do you wait until it gets, they get, Diana, do you wait until your berries get really ripe before you freeze them? And I don't know about you, but I have been uh, uh, just craving fruit. There. By the way, I saw something. My brother in law posted how to pick out the perfect watermelon, and I didn't know that the long oblong ones are more watery, and they're male watermelons. The round ones, short round ones, are females, and so you want to pick a female. They're sweeter. Also, if you look at ones with the white spot because that's where it was sitting. Also, the stem should be dry there. In the bottom, it should have lots of veins. That means that it's been pollinated many times. The more veins it has on the bottom, the or cracks, that kind of thing, the more it's been pollinated. I didn't know that. So those are the sweeter it is. So that's the big thing that I learned with watermelon there. I love bananas. Yeah, they're starting by. All right, you've done lots of stretching. For spasticity, Diana, have you had a lot of spasticity lately? I know I've been spastic. But as I was saying, I've had a mild sore throat and a mild headache for 6 days there. So I don't know. And I've been fatigued. No fever. I've got no fever there. And my mother has been on me to get tested there. Walking helps me. You know what? Walking does help. If you ever notice sitting on a chair, the longer you sit, I discovered I stand up and then I lock out. And sometimes I'll fall with that. So it can be scary there. Uh, um, the front, you know what? It's the front yard, front yard. Yeah, thank you, Dee. But I've never had a sore throat, and I've been with pollen and allergies. I am allergic to pollen. There, uh, uh, don't know, and I've been taking Zysol. I took yesterday. I've taken it 3 times, and it's 24 hours. So I'll be doing that. Pollen. Thank you, Dee. Thank you for. Yeah, could be. My mom is. She's been laying on me. Get tested for COVID. Get tested for COVID, and uh, I don't know because a lot of stuff I've been reading, good things and bad things, but one of the good things I've read is that people on a lot of disease modifying medications have more milder symptoms of COVID if they get it. Thing is that it's highly unlikely to have it because only 600 or 650 people in a county of almost 3,000 people here in Bel Air have had it. So it just doesn't make any sense for me to have it. Because nobody has it around here, my whole street there. But mom wants me to get tested anyway. Um, what is it? I'm a grown woman. And what is it about mothers leaning on us daughters? This is what you do. You go and you get tested. You get tested. You get. Thank you, mom. You know, I've had MS. I've managed my health. I take my medicine. I eat my fresh fruit. I'm a grown up. I've lived long enough to, to do my own things, except for when my 80-year-old mother gets on the phone and says, "This is what you need to do." And then all of a sudden, I've turned into a little girl. I'm like, "Okay, mom, I'll go get tested for COVID." It's stupid. It's stupid. And nobody has it around Bel Air, Maryland. There, so I just have to laugh there. Um, yeah, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'll tell you guys something fun. Keep talking. Keep interacting there. The, you've tested one. Dee, all right. Uh, uh, all right. Oh my God. Pain in the butt. And you know why my mom wants me to be tested? So that she can see me and she can hug me. It has nothing to do with me being tested to be treated, right? It's mom's got the very same B cell that's responsible for going crazy in MS is responsible for going cancerous or maverick in leukemia, chronic leukemia. My mom has chronic leukemia, and she uh, she rightfully so. She doesn't want to get this COVID stuff, but again, I like to do crossword puzzles, and one of the questions was, what is another word for people who are socially distant from you? Just not, they won't hug you, kind of look at you a little scant. And it was a crossword clue. And this is before the COVID virus. You know what the answer is? Does anybody? That's a riddle. I'm going to say socially distant, not really huggy or cuddly or compassionate there. Diana, it's interesting. You bring up Empira, and I'm just hosting this, and you guys are the stars there. And I'm talking about what you're talking about there. Eh, the Empira. I was on the prescription Empira, and I'm a sucker for the placebo. If they tell me it'll make me walk better, by God, it's gonna make me walk better. I am hell bent on having the medication do what it said it was gonna do, right? Well, all of a sudden, generic Empire came out. Uh, Regular Empire has a copay assistant there, so it was only $10. The generic copay doesn't have, or the generic Empira for my insurance doesn't have copay assistant there. It would cost me $80 in order to continue to walk. Wonderful, instead of the name brand and Pyra. And we did everything to try to get me to continue on the name brand and Pyra, but wouldn't pay for it. But let me tell you something. I am cheap. I'm not cheap. I need more value, and I need to see the value. So I had to be honest with this, and I couldn't. I just couldn't. It wasn't worth $80 to do. Now, granted, I have a cleaning lady come and do my house once a month, one, whatever, and that is cheaper than once a month in Pyra. So that's $75, and I'd rather pay the cleaning lady to dust and vacuum and do my baseboard molding than I would take something that may or may not work. Now, the studies show that it does work. Let me tell you again how they discovered the Empire works. Is that it was a dust that was used in farmer fields. So when birds came down and ate the seeds there, the Empire, or that dust on top of it, would overstimulate their nervous system. It would kill them there. And in medicines come from so many poisons and toxins there. So somebody was looking at that and saying, "Oh my gosh, that is that's really interesting. I wonder if we can bottle that in a smaller dosage and give it to people whose nerves don't work right." Well, what ended up happening is they started testing it, and they discovered that a small amount of that happened to stimulate the nerves and allow mice to walk better. Well, fast track the medication there. A number of people do get the benefits from it, but I'll tell you, that's why they tell you if you have had a seizure, you can't take it again. The side effect is it can cause seizure. As there's a couple side effects there, um, but that Gina, that's good. Uh, and I wonder, I question, does Empira not work, or uh, maybe it works. In fact, research should say this. Maybe Empira works when you don't have severe demyelination around your T T spine, right? Thoracic, in that thoracic area. I have a lesion at T6 there, and I had it early on there. I've had many attacks in that one area, and now what is it? The more attacks you have in that one area there, see my fingers joined together, is a is my nerve, right? And the more attacks around that well, see where my fingernails are? My fingernails say are my own thoracic six, right? And the more, say, I think Empire works really well to make this nerve more active if you have a couple nicks. but it's still attached. But if you've had MS and had that demyelination there, these nerves aren't going to, slight separation. No, that is my theory. Again, I'm not an expert. I developed these theories by reading the research on medications on MS. I love medicine. I love pharmacology. I love finding. I love that. That's why I run the MS Frontiers medical support group. I post research. I post articles, and I invite discussion on that because I know enough. Whenever I go to the neurologist, I have a rough time reporting what's wrong with me. I instead I want to know what they know, and I want to know. It's like, what do you know about Empira? What do you know about Ocrevez? What do you know? I've learned so much. So I end up having a half an hour appointment with my neurologist, and inevitably, after about 20 minutes, she says, enough with you talking and interviewing me. How are you doing? And she'll examine me there, and I go to the Johns Hopkins there. So my doctor is Dr. Ellen Mowry, and you'll see her. She is doing a lot of research on this COVID, people getting COVID. She also did research on intracranial insulin for memory, and I was in that study. Sheridan. Um, Sheridan, were you talking about Rose? It's Rose. Are you talking about name brand Empira or about the generic? I jumped through hoops with the copay assistance and convinced on the name brand Empira and convinced myself that it was working. But as I said, I have to give you the disclaimer. I'm a sucker for placebo. And when I was being treated at University of Southern California, USC, Irvine, I used to tell my neurologist there, he was into a lot of research too, but he forgot he wasn't just my research neurologist, he was my main neurologist. I used to tell him, as a research neurologist, you can give me a sugar pill and tell me that it'll cure MS and I might walk better. I said, just lie to me, uh, lie to me. But again, the mind is a powerful thing. There, it's interesting. You had bladder pain because it makes me want to look at the insert, the pharmaceutical thing. Again, the mind is a powerful thing. Is a very powerful thing. So many people love medical marijuana. They say it eases their pain, and with me, I can honestly say that medical marijuana, when I take it in, it makes me perseverate. Perseverate is all I think about is pain. I before I was in flu-like pain, but now my eyelashes hurt. Now I think, oh my God, I need a massage. I just it's awful. But anyway, uh, again, the mind's we'll play tricks on ourselves. Yeah, and D, you said it right there. I probably have allergies, even though I've got a sore throat, I've got a mild headache, I coughed a little bit. There, I don't have a fever, and all of a sudden, my mom and I are convinced I have COVID. Again, I mean, and only 600 people in Harford County, Maryland, have it out of 3,000. Um, and so the hospitals are empty. There, the allergies are terrible. No, Diana, I am on rituximab. Good thing about that they've discovered is that people who are on disease-modifying medications like Ocrevus, rituximab, interferons, that kind of stuff, they don't have the severe side effects. If they get the COVID virus, it is easier on them. Because I believe it's the anti-inflammatory there. So we work so hard to keep our bodies from being inflamed. I wonder, makes me want to research how Solumedrol and steroids react with this COVID there. Diana, are you on Ocrevus? I know most of you are on Ocrevus there, and you know how Ocrevus came into existence. Rituximab was generic. It was name brand, but they didn't do studies with MS because it was the pharmaceutical company was losing the patent on it, and it could go generic. It could, and Diana. All right, let me jump back. Let me see if I can remember. You guys challenge my cognition. You were on the generic Empira, I believe. That's what you're saying, and you discovered it didn't work, and I discovered the generic. Uh, I don't think the generic was working like the regular Empira, but what do I know? All right, now Ocrevus. Let me go back to Ocrevus. There, the patent on rituximab ran out there, so the pharmaceutical company wasn't going to put a ton of research into proving that rituximab is an outstanding had a 16-year safety record for using it to treat people with leukemia and people with rheumatoid arthritis. It was really, hi Lizzie, it was a really good drug, but they weren't going to spend money on getting that approved for MS if it was going to be generic, right? Why would Motrin spend tons of money on getting Motrin approved for inflammation? Think about it. Motrin is ibuprofen. Why would they do that when you can go down and buy ibuprofen instead of Motrin? Well, that's what rituximab, the makers, Genentech, decided, no, we're not going to put our money in research to get that approved. What we're going to do is we're going to have our scientists change things a little bit. Sheridan or Rose, send stuff there. And Lizzie, don't take anything off. We love you. You know, we talk MS here and we have mistakes. And okay, so back to Ocrevus. What they did is they modified it. Genentech changed it, made it a human instead of based on mice DNA, and they got it approved. They specifically for MS. There, it didn't have the safety record that rituximab had because it hadn't been used as long. What Ocrevus and rituximab is, it's a monoclonal antibody, meaning it's not chemo. I know we like to say that, and I like to say that if I want to be dramatic and I want to tell people I've been on chemo. It's fun for me to. I like being dramatic occasionally because it entertains me. But it's not chemo. It's a monoclonal antibody. It only kills the cell. Pretend this is a cell. We got a cell, B cell. And on that, there's little clusters, cell clusters there. 1 through, I believe, 30. Ocrevus and rituximab, monoclonals kill they don't kill the cell. They'll only kill a cell cluster there. CD19 and 20 there. So what? In fact, that's a protocol there. Instead of getting it every 6 months, ask your doctor as your neurologist to do some blood work and check for CD19 and 20. That is something that they want those numbers to be under 1% there. As soon as it gets up higher than that, then you can go and to keep that B cell from causing craziness there. You want to keep these cells low. These cells on top of it tell, not cells, the clusters there tell that cell what it's supposed to do. Now that cluster tells that cell, oh my gosh, we're bored. Let's eat some myelin. Let's eat some nerves there. So what you want to do is you want to take it and kill that. So it's not chemo. Otherwise, we'd lose our hair. Radical chemo. But what Genentech did is get Ocrevus to be approved for MS. There, it's much more expensive than rituximab. Rituximab is $16,000 an infusion there, but it's not covered by insurance unless you have Medicare in the United States, unless Kaiser covers it. Certain insurance covers it. So what if you're on Ocrevus? There, you can call your doctor and ask your doctor if they can get rituximab approved off-label there through your insurance as an off-label use, or you can continue your Ocrevus if the copay's not killing you. The copay kills me even on rituximab there. Anyway, let me see here. Some of this. Now, Diana, what is the difference? You were on rituximab. Now soon to have third infusion. You were on both, Diana. Now you can teach us all something. How did you feel? What are the differences between how you feel having MS between rituximab and Ocrevus? What are those differences there? Lizzie, my name is Liz. It looks like all of us aren't being seen by Dulcie. Yeah, no, I can see you, Lizzie. I can see Diana. Gina's here. Dee, Lizzie. Let me see. Yeah, and Rose, I can see that. Yeah, I think Lizzie. I'm sorry if I didn't say. Yeah, I can see you there. And Calvin, now he's here. That's all right. Better late than never, Calvin. Anyway, a little dry there. So again, let us know, Diana. What is the difference? How did you feel different from taking rituximab than Ocrevus? Is there a difference? Do you feel a difference? Because the only main difference between the two is that one is based, it was developed with you know what, Diana, I was on Navantro, and how many infusions of Navantrone. I was pulled off after 2 infusions because my heart. You're only allowed to do 2 years worth because it can affect your heart. What kind of leukemia did you end up getting, Diana? And rituximab, I know that really helps with. They use it for leukemia there. But that's fascinating to me. I know. And to Dee too, right, Dee? Oh my gosh. Navantrone. That's what they said. 15 years ago, I had Navantrone about let me think, probably 20 years ago there. Yeah. Now, Diana, let me see. What kind of leukemia did you end up getting? Navantran. And has anybody else been on Navantran? I think people who've had MS so long end up having experience with these medications there, like Navantran, remember back when they offered it to us, it was the only thing for secondary progressive when it changed. Now, I had been uh, on Betaseron, on Copaxone, Avonex came, Rebif came out, but they weren't going to put me on Rebif there, and they discovered my disease was getting worse. So my doctor said, "Well, the only thing you have now is Navantrone, and I think you're a candidate for it." Well, I took the Navantrone. What was so wonderful about Navantrone is it put me on in remission for 2 years. I had no problems with MS. I was able to do squats, and I had it for it stopped the progression, completely stopped the progression. But I remember it was navy blue. Do you remember that, Diana? The IV, it was blue going in my veins. My husband looked at me and says, "Are you sure about this?" And I wasn't. It was scary there. So what happened is after Navantron there, and they would test your heart and see if there was any leaky, uh, uh, anything leaky, and yeah, Diana. Real quick, what kind of leukemia did you have, Diana? So after being on that, it was so wonderful. All these other medications were on. Now in California, after they started testing to Sabri, and I was in that study program on Avonex and Sabri. See, when I did the Navantron, I never stopped Avonex then. So I was in that study program and I was pulled off. That's when people were dying there. But, and I thought, I told you I'm a sucker for placebo. I was convinced I was getting it because I think they put some cayenne pepper in that. Oh my God, you had ate what? AML. Oh my gosh. Diana, I pray for all of you. I'm sorry. I can't. I cannot read. You. I can't read what you're saying without just praying, giving thanks for you, and just wishing you all had comfort. Um, Diana, you feel like you're getting worse, and are you? Well, you're on medication now. What we people with secondary chronic progressive MS tend to do is we tend to be on Gilenya or Ocrevus or rituximab or Abasia. We tend to be on some of these medications, and we feel like we're getting worse. Then we insist on changing medications. What our doctors, our neurologists do is they tend to order an MRI, and our MRI kind of gives them a feeling of if the medication is working enough or not. Still, most of us MS there will fight with our doctor saying, "I'm getting worse. I need something else there," and our doctor will make us stop Gilenya with the idea that we're now going to do Ocrevus there, and they want to clear you out for those couple months, and then all of a sudden you're on Ocrevus, and you're still getting worse there because it's the nature of the disease there. Uh, oh, you poor, you know what? Ooh. All right. Um, All right, let's talk about how can we prevent ourselves from getting worse. People don't understand how difficult MS is to have. I was thinking this morning at breakfast that uh, I wonder if when I was 24, when I was officially diagnosed, or 25, I wonder if somebody came to me and said, look, you got a choice. You can either have MS, or you can, we'll sever your spine and you can be paraplegic. Well, if I wonder. I'm sitting there at breakfast this morning eating my egg, and I'm thinking, oh, well, that's a no-brainer. At this point in my life, I'd say absolutely make me a paraplegic, right? Because at least you'd have the energy. You could, I don't know. Hindsight's always 50-50, or 20-20, 50-50. 50-50 if you have MS, because you guys speak MS there. Uh, um, anyway, all right, you know where? Oh, you know what? If you go, Lizzie, if you go to msfrontiers .org and get on the Facebook group MS Frontiers Medical Support, I post all the articles there, the recent articles. I have that article. What did it say? Where you can find that is multiple sclerosis today. They have that there. Which inf- I'm sorry. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it is. What else, Diana? It's what else? What else there? That D, brilliant. Non-stick, use iron pans because they discovered this. I just posted this, that people with MS have higher rates of aluminum in their brain after they die. Same thing if you have. If you have people with Alzheimer's have higher rates of aluminum. They discovered there. Yeah, you know what? God bless you, Calvin. There. Let me see. All right. Let me see. Well, I lost my train of thought there. Uh, again. Oh, I know. We were talking about how, first of all, not to jump from medication to medication. If your neurologist deems your meds are working because your MRI says that they're working, then what else do we have? We have symptom control. We have to go to our doctor with our symptoms, and we have to tell them these are the symptoms we can't live with. Right? If it's fatigue, something they can give you fatigue medication, Provigil, Nuvigil, Ritalin, that kind of stuff. Uh, um, you could spasticity, they can manage that, and the idea is that we should be doing physical therapy. With me, since I have no energy at all this past week and a half there, and since I have no energy there, the only thing I could think about that would work is right now getting in that pool at the gym and doing my laps there. Uh, when in doubt, laps are always easier. And I just saw my neighbor drive by. I'm in the front yard today because the internet connection is right through that window there. So it's much better there than when I was on the screened-in porch, which I prefer. It's quieter there. I just have to figure out. Anyway, you know what, Dee? I had in Washington State when I lived there. Um, I lost the ability to walk, and that was first time I was confined to a wheelchair, and it took me about 6 months, pushing. I was hell bent because I was married to a pilot, and he was never home, and I needed the lighting's bad again. Let me. Oh, the lighting's a little better here. There. Let me turn that around. All right, lighting's a little better. A little better. Anyway, um, is anyone here to try a facial palsy? I don't know what you're saying, but you know what it is you're just palsy, Bell's palsy. I had Bell's palsy. That you see the side of my face there, it doesn't respond as well. This eye doesn't. This is the residuals. I had Bell's palsy on that side of my face there. That is true with MS. You can have an attack that causes that. I've had that. Is anyone her? I just don't know what that means there, but I had that. Maybe you were talking about. Uh, all right. I think that's Diana. I think that's why they don't give us. They don't recommend Navantran anymore. There's better medications there, but at the time, Navantran. Remember when that came out that they were trying to use that. Uh, yeah, that it was impressive stuff when we could do that. It was our only option there, just like beta seron at one time was our only option, and it was miserable stuff for me. Miserable stuff. Uh, uh, Let me see. Let's see. Yeah, Navantran. I don't think they give that anymore. All right. So we were talking about staying on your medication if it's working, and your MRI. Your doctor sees your MRI and shows that your medication is working. Second thing is we talked about eating healthy, eating fresh vegetables and fruits, smoothies and stuff. They've discovered now that it is so good that's primarily that's what people with MS need is the fresh vegetables and fruits. There. Let me see. The other thing is exercise. Use it or lose it. We got to do stretching for our spasticity, muscle. Uh, uh, we've got to do some weight training, keep our muscles alive and well. There, good question, Diana. What's the fatigue medication? Doctor gives me the Ritalin works. I don't like it very much because it is. If I take Ritalin, I have to understand it's going to last. I'll have about 3 or 4 really good hours, and then I will crash. So it's the same thing. Uh, yeah, my Diana, my pool has been closed too. I have a neighbor with a swimming pool that I'm going to talk to. Even that's not decent laps there. So it's terrible. But you know what? I've had two bouts with being, and we're talking about in the wheelchair. I've been twice completely confined to a wheelchair there, and I fought my way out of it. The only reason why I'd say that I'd rather be permanently in a wheelchair than deal with all of the side effects with MS is that uh, uh, the fatigue, the exhaustion, the isolation, the cognitive fog, the so things like Lermit sign, the what is it, parath- parenthesia sign, the those types of the headaches, the mood swings, that kind of thing. It is why MS is called snowflake disease, because you don't know the type of symptoms. We talked about the bee stings that occasionally, I'll be sitting here, I'll talk to you, all of a sudden I'll feel like a bee sting, and it's a phantom pain. I have that chronic flu-like side effects. I've had MS so long there, and it's very much like being on the interferons. I have that there, and yeah, right now you were talking, putting your head down, and you get the Lermit sign there, and it's a shock there. And Calvin, you were talking about, I believe, putting your head down, and that goes to your ear. I think it goes to your ear there, and I said it's Lermit's sign. When you put your head down, it tends to go down your spine, stopping maybe at your shoulder blades there. But you know what? Bee stings, that shock, and all of that stuff happens when you have MS. You just don't know. It's like sitting there with a deck of cards and MS cards, and all of a sudden somebody, who the dealer puts out a card. You don't know the symptoms, the seizures, the tonic spasms, optic neuritis, your eyes, dystonia, swallowing. You can have problems with that. Hearing. It can affect us so many different ways. But each way. Calvin, my left leg is painted on. I like to tell people for symmetry, it's painted on. It's not really. And I used to think, if they could chop it off, would it be? It'd be easier to get around it. I wouldn't trip over it occasionally. But anyway, this here brings end to the hour-long uh, um, video chat there, and your chat over here. And I hate to leave because now everybody's here. We start slow. Remember, on Thursday at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to do this again. There, I remember the lottery there, and I think it was you, Donna, that came in and let me know that back then we used to mix white powder of beta serum with some saline and shake it up. I forgot that. Uh, yeah, I remember the lottery, and there used to be a lottery for people with MS because they only released a certain amount every month there, and it was getting progressively more and more, and there was a lottery. Uh, and I got it right away because my husband was in the Air Force, and as a dependent, they had the Air Force was given a certain amount, so I wasn't in the lottery. Um, precarious anemia, iron deficiency. Yeah, that is. You know what? You've had a hard go of it, Dave. But I know we all believe that somehow MS has been a blessing to us. And let me remind you that we're not here that long. We don't exist. We don't breathe that long, and it's just such a flash in the pan that we're here, and eternity after we die and all. What are we going to be remembered for? Let's not be complainers. Let's be known to be peacemakers and lovers. Just I one of my prayers every day is let me be an instrument of Thy peace, Lord, and I pray for your comfort. I pray. Gosh, I do. I pray for your comfort. Come back on Thursday. We're gonna do it again, and get here a little earlier, guys. I love you. I'll tell you what. I'm going to keep this going again like I did last week there, this feed, because I'm only the host. You guys are the stars there. And I got to change the video. So this isn't Dulcie Hill's Multiple Sclerosis Live. This here is Multiple Sclerosis Live. You guys are the stars. I'm the host. I love you all. Go to msfrontiers.org. Look at the resources there and just the support there. Please subscribe. May the Lord bless and keep you, and may his face shine upon you and be gracious upon you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you his peace. I love you. Have a great day. And again, no need to run there. If you still want to talk to each other there, it's over here. So I'm going to walk away, and I'll come back probably in a half an hour there. So I'll turn off the feed at 11:30. I love you and have a great day. See you on Thursday. Bye. Okay. Well, I'm going to end this stream now. Bye, everyone.